Hi, this is Bobby Cobb with the Adams Center, and I'm here with another speaker preview. Joining me today, and our speaker coming up in just a short little bit here, is Amy Jackman. Amy has an interesting and diverse background. She and I are friends on Facebook, and I've really enjoyed following her. And it was through following her that I reached out to say, hey, we would love to have you come and speak at the Adams Center. So I don't want to do injustice to your background because it's amazing, Amy. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are right now?
Thanks, Bobby. I really appreciate you and your persistence reaching out to me because I am a busy person. I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I've done many things in my life, but currently I own my own legal cannabis logistics company, traveling all across the state of Alaska twice a week. Making sure that everybody has their medicine and healthy recreational, products. Earth medicine is how I like. Plant medicine is how I like to refer to anything that has been put on the planet Earth by source for not only recreation and really, recreation is medicine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All work and no play.
That's right. So there really is no difference. But, in the war on drugs, those differences were created to create a divide. So I really, at the most basic, the core of everything is we are one, and love is law. And so we are here to find those commonalities, right? Instead of finding those things that divide us and tear us apart.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that fascinated me about you when we first connected on Facebook was looking at your posts. It reminded me of my own. I've got people who think I'm a hardcore right-wing Republican, and I've got people that think I'm an ultra lib,
Yes.
left-wing nut job. And I end up, kind of upsetting and getting encouragement from different people. And I noticed on one of your posts that that same thing was happening. And I'm like, oh, she's kind of not really on a team either, just like team human race.
Yes, I am team, and it's, for me, it goes even so far beyond human race, because at the very basics and the core of who we all are and everything in our reality and beyond is energy. And so I am an energetic being, and I've taken the time to learn about the physics of energy and how it works and how to work with and within it to create the reality that I want. So, people often hear that your spiritual awakenings happen through trauma, right? Or very difficult experiences. Well, that's what happened to me. So it was during that time that I found myself in a very low place. And the universe was just setting me up to experience everything that I needed to experience to get me to where I am today, right? I used to manage the blood bank of Alaska Kenai Peninsula Center. So learning about the biology, right? And evolution of our earthly journeys and our blood types, all this, right? It all is synergistic to the mind, body, spirit sort of journey that we are all on. And so with cannabis, it started everything. And with my descent into just this horrible depression and sadness and kind of just loss of, mourning the loss of confidence in myself, right? I was guided to this sort of spiritual awakening that embodied all three, mind, body, spirit, but it really was more of a deep dive into sacred geometry, physics, and very, very, very ancient esoteric teachings that predate any religion, right? So basically these teachings are what all of our current religions on the planet stemmed from. And it has now for the past 4 years been my mission to master a lot of those practices. And for myself, and in that, because I think at my core, I am a teacher, and I like to share my gifts, because really this is about raising your individual vibration, but then, you know, it affects your sphere, everyone's sphere. So the more people that I can affect or teach, and then those people practice, right? So it's exponential, right? The feeling that we can give ourselves and those around us, right? And humanity. And so I had opened up my own in a rental property that I own. For a year, I opened up a community center, and I held a Sunday service every Sunday for a year, where it was all just about learning and teaching. And during the week, I would bring in different people really from all over the world to teach and to share in their gifts. And so these are healers and shamans and energetic healers and people that work with all different kinds of modalities, right? The esoteric primarily, but also a lot of them understanding and combining in our physical physiology, right? And who we are on this planet right now. Besides, you know, being that energetic soul, that spirit, we do have this earthly vessel that we have to take care of, right? And so the people that I worked with and that I brought in, oh my gosh, just transformed my life. And of course, like I said, I go right into anything that I'm passionate about. I want to become the best and know everything that I can. And I want to feel and experience it for myself. We do that.
Trippy experience, I bet.
Very, yes. Which will lead into, you know, what my presentation is going to also touch on.
Well, actually, if we could, let's, two things that popped up to me. One is just how aligned you are with our organization, because ADAM stands for the Ancient Teachings of Masters. So you are 100% so much in harmony with that. And I very much suspect that the ADAM regulars will maybe hearken back to you talking about the fact that you were so persistent. You know, anybody listening to this knows why. Now, I have been persistent and wanted to have you come to the group, and I know we're just going to be looking forward to your upcoming presentation. So would you mind spending just a little teaser, a preview of coming attractions of what you're going to talk about?
So we're going to be talking about psychedelics, and again, that's earth medicine or plant medicine, anything that is provided by source, including those sources of 5-MeO-DMT, those things that come from animals as well, like the bufo toad, right? So this all really connects back to the breath, because it's the breath of life. When we're born, our brains produce DMT. When we die, we have DMT. When we do mindful breathing, we also produce that DMT. And these are the things that directly connect us to source, you know, our soul, our spirit, right? So we're just tapping into these innate gifts that we all have. But we're going to be discussing tapping into those things, not only through breath and other practices like Kundalini, but more specifically through plant medicine and earth medicine, which includes ayahuasca, psilocybin, cannabis, and all the different cannabinoids that the cannabis plants embody, bufo, which comes from a toad, all sorts of different things. LSD, which is man-made, but still has those properties, you know, and we can talk all about that. I've done lots. That was what I used a bit with that doctor. And I never really had, I had some profound experiences. Don't get me wrong. Like, it led me here, and it was a beautiful stepping stone. But you hear about this crossing over when you're having these psychedelic experiences, right? And you're taking this plant medicine, and, of seeing the aliens or the beings and the creatures, or feeling or seeing God, or the understanding that we all are God, right? God,
Yes.
God,
Yeah.
creators. And I never had that experience. It was just, I could just feel something was missing. And it was just, the universe brought this shaman into my life through an incredible story, which I'd be happy to share sometime. And then she led me on a psilocybin journey where I got to feel that universal love, and have that crossover experience of then knowing who I am, who we are, and seeing all of those things, that at that point, there's no more doubt. You can't doubt, because all the work that you've done leading up to, it just ties back in, and it's just more, it just solidifies. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I get it now, right? Like, this is it. This is what it's all about. And so the journey continues. I just returned from Punta Chueca, Sonora, Mexico, where I worked with the Seri Indian tribe with the bufo, which is a serum that comes from a frog. It's defense mechanism, but as it's squeezed out, and they don't harm the frogs, these are sacred beings, live beings with souls. They dry this serum, this venom that comes out of these toads, and it is pure DMT. And of all the experiences now that I have had with psilocybin and cannabis and ayahuasca, LSD, MDA, MDMA, this has been the most profound and the most deep love that I felt. And I want to share this experience and my knowledge of maybe how to start the journey, or if you're on the journey, some tips that might help you, and maybe to offer up opportunities to join us in sacred ceremony in the near future of the bufo, the psilocybin, of many different things that are provided for us and our growth. Now is a pivotal time in humanity, and so I look forward to working with everyone.
We cannot wait to have you, and we're actually doing this. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Several weeks prior to the actual talk, and I find myself thinking, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't believe I have to wait almost a month. But while you're listening to this, it's upcoming. In fact, Amy's going to be our speaker on Sunday, December the 6th at the Adams Center. That's located at the corner of C and Dowling. We get started at 9:30 in the morning. People gather earlier than that. They start gathering around 9. But we formally start as close to 9:30 as we can manage, and we'll go to about 11 or so. And Amy is going to be our featured speaker. We're going to have a little bit of meditation there. We'll probably have skookums on her harp, which is just, it sounds like you're listening to angels breathe when she's playing that harp. And I think this is a very timely presentation. You clearly have got a background that we want to tap into your experience. So we're really excited to be hosting you, Amy.
Yeah, well,
Looking forward to it very much.
Thank you.